So yeah, should be recording now, hopefully. So yeah, we're going to be running the new Apocalyptic Shadow that dropped today. I just recorded a video on a tribute build in Currency Wars. I'll have linked in the description if you guys want to see that as well. I've been doing a ton of videos on different stuff in Currency Wars, and I plan on continuing to do so. But if you're here from the Currency Wars videos, I also do videos on just the general in-game clears and stuff, which is what this video is. So we're going to be running Casterus build, and for the second half, well, we're definitely running Casterus here. Yeah, I think we can do Dot. I was kind of thinking Dot, so we'll run Dot on the other side. So Apocalyptic Shadow, the main idea of this is you have like a really strong boss that has a toughness bar, and your goal is to try to lower the toughness bar as quickly as possible, so that way you can actually start damaging the boss properly. Although this team will most likely be able to deal quite a lot of damage to the boss, even through the toughness bar, just because this team does a lot of damage. And this boss actually has 3 toughness bars we have to go through before we can really start damaging it, even though I've already done 8% of its HP, just because of how strong this team is. So yeah, we're going to skill here, and then that gets our Evernight skill into ult. You can pretty much just press all the buttons in this team whenever they're up, is a really nice thing about this team. And this team for me is all E0, so no Eidolons on this team, but they all have their signatures. So yeah, it's not necessarily just using like the default ones. I just managed to recently get Cyrene's signature because I had actually lost the 75-25 whenever her banner came out, but I was able to grind Currency Wars and get all of the Stellar Jades from that and other events, and that was able to make it where I was able to get her signature. Usually whenever you break the toughness bar, all of the characters on field will get their ults, but that is not the case with this version of the boss. I'm guessing because Cyrene came out, they didn't want people to get Cyrene's ult too quickly. But yeah, as you can see, we're still charging Cyrene's ult. It does take a little bit of time. But once it's up, then we're good. So we are going to buff our Casterus, and then we're also going to buff our Evernights. And then we're going to ult with Casterus, and we'll ult with Evernight too, because we're already on Evernight's turn. Ideally we would not be on Evernight's turn, but kind of playing it a little slow, so wasting a little bit of action value, but we've still got so much action value to work with in this lower difficulty that it doesn't really matter too much. And now we can use our Hyacinth ults. So what Cyrene's ult does is it makes it where our Evernight does like a lot more damage, and then it also makes it where Casterus does more damage, and her energy bar, which you get from restoring or losing HP, has a higher cap, so it caps at 200% instead of 100%. As you can see there, it goes up to 130 after that. And with Cyrene, you can hold your ult. It adds like a little bit of extra damage if you stack it all the way up to 200%, but you don't really have to do that. It's not too significant of a damage increase, it's better just to ult whenever your ult is up. And the good thing about having Cyrene increase that cap is that you just get a little bit of extra damage on your ult. It's even though you're still kind of wasting a little bit of the HP that you're generating from Hyacinth, just because you can't ult fast enough and like do everything. So yeah, now we're just gonna run dot. So I'm just running this version of dot with double dot instead of triple. You can run either one into this enemy, I'm sure. But I like double dot more. It's just more consistent in my experience. And all of these characters are E0 F0. Like on my Kafka, I'm running Silver Wolf's before the tutorial mission starts light cone. It's not her signature, it's one from an event that you can get from doing simulated universe runs now, but this makes it where you get a little bit of extra effect hit rate, and then you also get energy generation whenever you hit enemies that have their defense reduced, which basically just makes it where you can spam your ult with Kafka more frequently. And then my Kafka is also running the 4-piece Eagle of Twilight, I believe is the name of it. 4-piece Eagle is what it's normally called, but what that does is every time that you ult, your action advances a little bit, so you can spam ult and then get a bunch of action advance and are able to trigger more dots with your Kafka, is the idea of that build. Yeah, we can hold our Robin ult for after Wawa takes a turn. Or really, we can even hold it for after Robin takes a turn if we want to save extra skill point, but we'll just do this. So for the Fatalia fight, as you can see, we have to defeat the flowers to the side first, and then the boss has their toughness bar able to be reduced, so a little bit of an extra step. We can actually skill on Hycelin's here, because whenever Hycelin's ults, she regenerates a skill point, although we probably should have Kafka ulted first. I didn't realize that Kafka would have ult for that. Wasting a little bit of extra energy that didn't need to be wasted, but it kinda doesn't matter. We're just gonna basic attack on Wawa again, because I want to make sure that I have a skill point whenever it's Kafka's turn, so that way she can trigger all the dots. And we don't actually need to even heal anything at the moment. So yeah, I'm just going to basic attack on the Hycelin's here, so that way I can actually get off Wawa's skill. And then I'm going to ult on Kafka. As you can see, with the Eagle set, that made it where my Kafka's actually able to get off another skill inside of the Robin ult, which adds a little bit of extra damage from Robin. And now my Robin is back on field, so she's able to generate some skill points for me. You can skill here, but I'm just gonna basic. It doesn't really matter because Hycelin's already got the dots on everything from the ults, still not out of energy, and none of these enemies have the physical weakness, so Hycelin's just basic attacking them doesn't really change anything, and we'll have enough energy for her ults, so I'm not too worried about it. So I'm going to hold on to the Robin ult until after my Kafka uses her skill there. And now we will Kafka ult. Which then we can follow that up with another Kafka skill. And now we can Hyceline skill, so that way we're making sure that we get our Hyceline's ults. Gonna give us back a skill point, but it doesn't really matter. We're just gonna be basic attacking this enemy down now. We can Kafka ult here. Should be more than enough to finish them off with a skill, I guess. might have overestimated the damage a little bit, but yeah, I kind of wish Fantalia showed up as like a boss in Currency Wars. I was thinking of some of the missing characters and stuff in Currency Wars earlier today. Like, could have been a really good opportunity to have like Mr. Rekka or Cinnabon show up, because a lot of people like those characters and they're currently not playable. There's always like rumors of them being playable, or like Skrullum or Oleg back in the day. A lot of people, or maybe not a lot of people, but I've heard of some people that wanted Oleg to be playable. I also wanted Oleg to be playable, so I'm one of those some people. There's at least one guy, because that guy is me, that wants Oleg playable, even still, so. Yeah, more Bellabon characters. Could have been fun. We're just gonna basic on Robin here, and then we don't need to ult just yet because we have Kafka and Heisland in the action order. Now we can Robin ult. Ooh, that's actually not enough. I should have skilled with the Heisland. I thought that would be enough to break the weakness. Yeah, if I would have skilled with Heisland, we would have had Heisland's ult, which then would have triggered the Kafka follow-up attack, which definitely would have broken the weakness. So, I'm gonna have to take a little bit of extra turns for that now, but it's okay. We have all the time in the world to be able to defeat this enemy, pretty much. Yeah, that was just in difficulty 3, so pretty straightforward. And then difficulty 4, gonna make things a little bit more challenging, but same idea. Before we do that though, we can do a little bit of pulling. On the banner. I am pulling for Castris Eidolons, but I'm not going to be topping up for them or anything. I'm just pulling with any extra G that I can get. You can actually tell if a ticket is going to be a 5-star character or not based on the color of the ticket as it goes in. I believe it would be darker if it's a 5. Like, it's a lot more obvious than you would think. Like, you would think that it would be a really like subtle difference between a 5-star and non-5-star ticket, but it's not. It definitely sounds like a little crazy to be able to like see the ticket though and know the difference. More ultimate damage and most rate skill. So yeah, we can keep this the same. Or what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to run a super break team into this enemy. Just because super break teams are much more favored into these enemies in Apocalyptic Shadow, just because your whole goal is to break the enemy's weakness bar anyway. So having team that's designed to break the weakness bar quickly in Super Break just naturally works with it. Just kind of like how single target teams used to be super favored in Memory of Chaos, but now that's changed, and Memory of Chaos is really just whatever new character comes out is super favored, which you can kind of say that about all in-game modes, but specifically with Memory of Chaos it's kind of the thing. And then with the other game mode. The name's escaping me right now. The one that you have to talk to the paper bird to be able to do. That one's all about AoE damage. Pure Fiction, that's the name. Yeah, I couldn't remember it for a minute there. Alright, recording 2 videos back to back. Haven't really done that in a while. Last time I just record 1 video in a day and then just go edit it and go do other stuff like go stream later, which I'm still planning on streaming later today too. After I've recorded this video and upload it and the other video that I've recorded and then edit them. Which this video is not going to have too much editing, it's just going to be me editing out, opening up the game and stuff, but the other video I recorded today is going to have a little bit more editing of the Currency Wars game that I played. But yeah, I did notice that more people are like interacting with the Currency Wars videos than some of my other videos, so I do plan on making a lot more of them and stuff. I was already planning on making a lot more. I said before Currency Wars came out that if there was like a new in-game mode, I might turn it into like a niche on my channel, because my channel was kind of just about, and kind of still is just about like clearing the in-game modes in the Hoyoverse gotchas that I play, and that's like the main thing that I upload and talk about. But to have a little bit more of a direction in niche and stuff, I wouldn't mind doing a lot of Currency Wars stuff, as it's a really fun in-game mode for me at least. I've seen a lot of people like have mixed reactions to it and stuff overall online, just because of kind of the nature of auto chess is a little bit confusing for a lot of players. I've noticed like people struggling to understand like how RNG manipulation works, or like saving the interest for characters and stuff, and the general game balance of the mode isn't great, as there's really only one team at the highest level that does super well, and the rest depend on if you actually own the characters or not, and if you own like extra copies of them, like Eidolon and stuff. But yeah, I'm still planning on doing a lot of stuff in that mode and talking about all the characters and stuff. So if you want to see those, I'll be doing a lot of videos, because I have quite a few teams that I still want to showcase and stuff, because I've tested a lot. I was sick last week whenever the mode came out, so I was able to test like a ton of different stuff then, and I'm still finding new stuff today. Even found a new team I hadn't seen people talking about that I recorded a video on, so yeah, there will be more stuff, basically. But yeah, I'm not really talking about what I'm doing here for this clear, just because it's literally the same thing that I did in the previous clear with this team. The most complex thing about playing a casterist team is just knowing like when to ult, and 99% of the time it's whenever the ult buttons show up is when you ult. So that's kind of the nice thing about a casterist team. Anytime that character's turn is about to start, you always press the skill button, and anytime that a character ults, like 99% of the time, it's whenever the button glows, is whenever you start your ult. Yeah, once you get off one Cyrene ult, you're able to keep ulting pretty consistently. It's the nice thing about Cyrene. That's why a lot of people like her E2, is just because it starts her at 12 stacks, so you're able to get that initial 24 stack ult off faster, but it's not really necessary with this team. I'd actually be interested in trying like an Aglaya team. I don't have Aglaya on my account to try it with, but the Agli team in Currency Wars that I run is kind of similar to this, and it has like a lot of Remembrance characters and stuff, so I'm wondering how fast they would be able to charge a Cyrene ult, or like just how useful that team would be, because you wouldn't be getting a lot of attack percent on your Aglaia in that sort of team, but you would be getting a lot of damage percent and like true damage and stuff, so yeah, you would have like less energy, I guess, as well. That's kind of a benefit of Sunday. Big Cyrene damage, big Evernight damage. Okay, and then this team, we're running a different team on this side than I did in the previous run. This one is a break team, or a super break team. So, the main idea of this team is that you have Round May skill activates automatically at the start of combat from your technique. You want to get your Fugue, which my Fugue probably does not have on the right light cone. She does. Or she actually does. I was going to say she does not, but she actually does have on the right light cone for me. This team, my Fugue is... Or my Fugue is E0, S0. They have 4-star light cone, so that's S0. But the 4-star light cone is at S5, but it's 4-star, so... Yeah, E0, S0 Fugue, it's E0, S1, because I do have the signature for Lingsha, and then I have E1, S1 Round May. I recently got her E1, so that way I was able to clear the new Anomaly Arbitration, which I didn't do a video on that, but I might do a video on the new Anomaly Arbitration at some point, because I did clear that. I was sick whenever I cleared it and stuff, that's why I didn't do a video on it, because I got sick like the day that Siren came out. It was really unfortunate. I tried to stream, but I just like was not feeling well, so I like privated that stream and stuff, but yeah, then my Rappa's E0S1, so she has her signature as well. But yeah, there is a new character coming out that is supposedly really good in break teams and supposedly replaces Round May in break teams, which is the main thing that I play Round May in. So me getting her E1 is like a little sus, but I think Round May is arguably like one of the best characters in the game, just like base kit wise. Like you can pretty much run Round May on any team as the like main support and not be making a bad decision. So I don't think getting her E1 from the selector, I used one of my selector things, I still have another one for a future character. I don't really have any plans of which character that will be, but I don't think any character that's currently available with the selector is one that I would want to get. So I'm saving it for them. But yeah, I still think like Round May E1 still really good. It makes it where whenever enemies are weakness broken, they or your attacks ignore defense. So makes you do a lot of damage. And Round May, what she does for this team that's really good is she increases your break effect, obviously, which just makes your super break damage better. But she also gives you weakness break efficiency, which makes it where, or toughness break efficiency, which makes it where whenever you hit the enemy's toughness bar, it goes down faster. Which, as far as I'm aware, she's the only character in the game that gives that stat. I don't think Harmony MC gives that stat, so... That's really good for super break teams. And yeah, the main idea of this team is that you have your Fugue skill, your Rappa, so she's able to deal a lot of toughness bar damage to like any enemy, and then you break their toughness bar with your Rappa ult and deal a ton of damage. And Rappa's an erudition character, so she's really good in AoE situations, and she's also an imaginary unit. Rappa's ult deals toughness damage regardless of the enemy weakness type, but it's still better to play Rappa into imaginary type enemies because she doesn't have a weakness implant. So whenever you're not ulting, it's harder for her to break toughness bars that are not imaginary. So compared to other break units like Firefly or Bootil that have weakness implants. And then yeah, a tip with Lingsha is to always make sure that Fu Yuan, your little summon, if it has an action in the order, you want to make sure that that goes off before you use your Lingsha's ult, which will then cause Fu Yuan to get another attack. And Lingsha's ult heals your entire team and causes Fu Yuan to act, which then cleanses them and heals them a little bit as well. And also makes it where enemies take more super break damage. And then if you have S1 Lingsha like I do, then that also makes it where they take a little bit more damage overall with this debuff here. And Fugue's ult, all it is just like a really big damage thing that does rainbow damage, so it will break toughness bars of any type, although it does affect ones that are weak to fire damage a lot as well, so. And then the way that Rappa's ult works, if you don't know, you have 3 charges of it, and each charge is an enhanced basic attack. And then whenever Rappa gets an action, you can only use your enhanced basic attack while you're ulting, and it has 3 hits, and your goal is to try to either hit toughness bars and break them, or to hit enemies that already have their toughness bars broken and do a lot of super break damage. And Rappa's ult, I believe, is the only one in the game that, or no, I think Fugue's technically, that does super break damage without there being a super break enabler, which, I mean, Fugue is a super break enabler, so that's kind of why that would be the case with her. But Fugue and Harmony MC are the only characters in the game that will let you deal super break damage on any character. So they're called, or I call them super break enablers, at least, because they enable you to deal super break damage whenever enemies' toughness bars are gone. But Rappa's ult will deal super break damage even if they're not on your team, to enemies that are weakness broken. So, kind of just an interesting Rappa anecdote, I guess. I do think Rappa is the best out of all of the super break carries, and I've thought that since she came out, technically before she came out, because I do look at information of upcoming characters and stuff before they're released to try to know what's going on in the meta. But yeah, able to get that cleared with her and the rest of the super break team. But yeah, Rappa's carried me through like a lot of stuff in this game, so I feel like she's a really good character. And I want to do a team with her in Currency Wars, but she's like kind of not that great in that mode, but I'm testing stuff with her. But yeah, we have 2 more pools here, potentially, for E1 casters. Well, nope. Might as well try. But yeah, if nothing else, I'm building pity for upcoming characters. I don't really have a plan on any particular character I want to pull next. I kind of want to grab Aglaya, just because I've been playing a lot of Aglaya in Currency Wars, so I want a copy of her on my account just to be able to test some stuff with her. I don't really recommend pulling characters that are rerunning ever in this game, I also want to grab like the Herda, just because I like the Herda. Unless you like the characters, that's the only ones I would recommend to pull. Because obviously you can just pull for whoever you like. Finon's also one that I would potentially recommend, and kind of Ceredra and Cypher in a way. But yeah, outside of that, I wouldn't really recommend pulling any particular character that's rerunning. But because my account's like so far progressed, I can kind of just pull whoever and I'll make it work, if nothing else. And the Herda is like a... the Herda and Acheron, they're both special characters that... I'm forgetting what the proper like lore term for them are right now. But they're like... they're kind of like Archons in Genshin, almost, where they have like a special designation, so you could probably pull them, but I would argue that even like Acheron's kind of weaker. It's kind of like pulling... what's his name? The Geo Archon. I'm forgetting his name, but it's kind of like pulling him nowadays. It's a bit harder to recommend over something like Malvika. But yeah, that's where I'm going to end things for now, as we were able to get the clear and stuff. So yeah, more Currency Wars videos coming out, and more in-game clears are also coming out whenever they're up. I did clear the previous thing in ZTZ that came out, and I recorded it and stuff, but I haven't had a good moment to upload it, just because my uploads have been Currency War stuff, and I only try to do one upload a day, just because of the way that YouTube algorithm works. If it were not in the way that it is, then I would definitely want to do more. But yeah, it kind of like hurts videos if you upload one video and then upload another video. I'm just tacking so Cyrene doesn't yap over me. But if you upload like 2 videos, they kind of like compete with one another and stuff, so it's just not great to do. But yeah, I'm actually getting like a backlog of videos, which is something I haven't really had on the channel in a long time, so I'm able to keep up with daily uploads, hopefully, for quite a while soon and everything. So yeah, expect more stuff in general on the channel and stuff. So yeah, guys, we'll see everyone in the next one.